I mean, you think you have access to the amount of capital that you ultimately need? Not to mention, then we're also, of course, we talk about it every day, the power that's going to be needed for all of this, which conceivably is a serious gating issue.
Yeah, so first, just on the ability to raise capital to do something like Stargate, there is just so much interest from investors right now. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're here at FII, because it's a way to be able to talk to a lot of sovereign wealth. And that is those are the types of investors that we now need to be having deep conversations with. But of course, our partner SoftBank also brings a lot of capital. And then I think secondarily, on your point about, are we going to have power and so on, I'm actually excited that we have the type of intelligence we're putting into the world to help us solve some of these issues, whether it's thinking about power.
Actually be able to help the power situation?
I do. I think that we are getting into an era, like this year is really about agent technology, which is more about long horizon tasks, like deep research that goes off and does research for you in 10 minutes that might take a normal PhD level human maybe weeks or months to put together. That is the stair step into real innovation, new things that have never been discovered, and that's going to mean scientific innovation across the spectrum. It might be around things like power, climate change, it might be drug discovery, but this is the accelerant we need.
I do want to talk to you about Elon Musk. You know, he bids $97 billion. You guys obviously reject it. You're in the midst of this fairly complex transition, so to speak, from a not-for-profit to a for-profit. And there are questions about conflicts of interest. Sam Altman negotiating the nonprofit sale to the profit entity he leads. How do you as a CFO navigate that?
So what I focus on is, first of all, what are we aiming to do here? It always starts with the nonprofit because our mission is core to everything we do. We've talked a little bit about what makes you successful in AI. We've talked a lot about compute and raising capital, but we cannot forget that it's really about researchers and getting the best minds to come to your company. And in OpenAI, what I see is people are very mission-driven, very mission-forward. And so that's why important, like, first of all, that we start with the nonprofit. But beyond that, then, how do we just create a traditional company, a PBC in this case, that can help us do all the other things we need to do, raise capital, maybe ultimately think about tapping public markets and so on. And so we're managing both streams at the moment with the people that are on our cap table currently, and we're just going to keep moving to get all of that put together.
Musk is not going to make it easy. I don't know if you know this about him, but he's somewhat relentless, and even if you reject him, he doesn't take it well. I mean, is that a distraction for you guys?
No. We are eyes on the prize, which is how do we keep growing our business? You see it in our numbers. We're the only AI company showing up with hundreds of millions of weekly active users. The only company not just talking about models, but talking about down the stack into infrastructure, the innovation we're doing there, and then up into that application layer so that consumers get more and more features that make their lives easier. Search, deep research, task worker, all of those things.
Research is going to put a lot of analysts out of work, I think, at least from what I hear from my Wall Street friends.
It's going to speed a lot of analytic work, that is for sure.
Speed it up, huh? It's not going to actually eliminate people?
I think that people are going to learn how to use these tools differently. Are jobs going to be different? Absolutely, right? The jobs we had on Wall Street when we started, I mean, they don't even exist today, right? Remember when you used to have to go off and do research almost physically? So I think it's just yet another piece of the curve that says jobs will change, we'll need to retrain people, but we are getting smarter and smarter with the tools we have at our fingertips.
How long to get to this for-profit entity? I mean, Musk is calling the whole thing a swindle. Obviously, I know you wouldn't, I would assume you dispute that, but how long is the process going to take?
You know, I can't give you a time frame on it, but I can tell you we're very focused on it. It's the right thing for us to do as we move forward as a company.
And finally, a lot of this came as a result of the dispute, so to speak, about safe AI. The company was born from that between Musk and Altman. I don't hear as much about it anymore from you guys. I mean, I hear you're getting close to AGI every day, obviously even closer. I used to worry a lot about this a year or so ago, what's going to happen to the world. You know, what assurances can you give us that you are developing this safely, given the race that is taking place between you and so many competitors?
I mean, safety has always been at the core of what we do, and sometimes we're louder on it, but everybody should know that it's always right there at the core. Before we release any model, any new feature, there's always a full safety review that is done, and we try to do it broadly with our ecosystem as well. So we just come back all the time to what can we give out to consumers that is helping them in their daily lives. When we work with customers like a T-Mobile or a Morgan Stanley or a Moderna, what are the things that we can do to speed their businesses along? And of course, they're always just to hold that high bar of safety, but I think it's at table stakes rather than something that we need to call out explicitly.
All right. One day we're going to do an interview when you're a public company, an actual public company.
You never know.
Sarah, I appreciate it. Thank you for doing this. Thanks for stopping by. All right. Sarah Friar, the CFO of OpenAI. Guys, back to you.